Lena Carter sat at the farthest round table, her chair angled slightly toward the corner as if the floral centerpiece might shield her from being noticed. Music pulsed softly beneath the chatter of guests, violins weaving through laughter and clinking glasses. The wedding was beautiful, everything her best friend had ever dreamed of, and yet Lena felt as if she were sitting in the middle of a movie she hadn't been cast in. The sequined dresses, the champagne, the polished smiles, it all belonged to a world she'd stepped out of years ago, the day she traded cocktail parties for bedtime stories and school lunches. She smoothed the skirt of her pale blue dress, simple but carefully chosen, and glanced toward the dance floor. Couples were already swaying, gold lights scattering across them like confetti. Her son, Max, was with her mother tonight, probably snuggled under his dinosaur blanket, blissfully unaware that his mother's chest ached from pretending not to care about being alone. The seat beside her remained empty. Her name card sat neatly upright, paired with another, guest of Ms. Carter. A polite formality, as though someone might actually show up. She turned the card over before anyone could notice. Lena. The voice came from behind her, warm and amused. She turned and nearly knocked over her glass of water. Ethan Blake. Even before she placed the name, she recognized him, the kind of man who carried quiet command without trying. Dark hair, a clean shave, and eyes that didn't dart around the room but seemed to take everything in at once. She'd seen him earlier talking to the groom, and everyone's attention seemed to follow him as if he were another kind of light altogether. "Hi," she managed, hoping her voice didn't betray how startled she felt. "Do you mind?" He gestured toward the empty chair. "Oh, no, please." He sat, unhurried, adjusting his cuff links. "I thought I'd escape for a bit. Too many people asking about business and deals. Weddings aren't supposed to feel like board meetings." Lena smiled faintly. "Depends on the crowd." His gaze flicked toward her, curious. "You look like you'd rather be anywhere else." "I'm fine," she said automatically, then sighed. "I just don't really fit in here anymore." Anymore. She hesitated. How much did one tell a stranger? But there was something disarming about him, something patient. "I used to work in marketing. Same circle as most of these people. Then I had my son. Things changed." He nodded as though he understood more than she'd said. "You're here for the bride." "My best friend since college. I wouldn't miss it." She tried to smile again, but her eyes betrayed the flicker of unease that passed when she noticed a tall man near the bar. Her ex, holding court in a tuxedo that looked expensive and a smile that hadn't changed. Beside him, a woman with glossy hair and a dress that whispered money rested her hand on his arm. Lena's throat tightened. She looked away quickly, focusing on the condensation sliding down her water glass. Ethan followed her gaze but didn't comment. Instead, he leaned slightly closer, lowering his voice. "Do you trust me?" She blinked. "What?" He smiled, not mockingly, but with a kind of calm that steadied her. "You look like you could use an ally. Just play along." Before she could ask what he meant, he straightened in his chair and draped his arm casually along the back of hers, his posture relaxed, almost possessive. From anyone else, it might have felt intrusive. From him, it felt like shelter. When her ex finally glanced their way, Ethan met his stare and, in one smooth motion, brushed his thumb along the edge of Lena's shoulder. The gesture was small but unmistakable. Her breath caught. Her ex's confident expression faltered. For just a heartbeat, and the woman beside him whispered something in his ear. Then he looked away. Ethan's arm remained where it was, his tone light as if nothing had happened. "Better." Lena exhaled a shaky laugh. "You didn't have to. I know. But I wanted to." She turned toward him, caught between gratitude and disbelief. "Why?" "Because," he said simply, "sometimes it's easier to breathe when someone's on your side." They talked after that, about ordinary things, safe things. The music shifted to something slower, and guests began to pair off on the dance floor. A few glances came their way, curious perhaps at the unfamiliar man sitting so comfortably beside her. "Ethan Blake," she finally said. "You're the business partner, right? The one who flew in from New York." He looked surprised. "You know who I am. Bride talks about you sometimes. Something about saving the company." He chuckled softly. "She exaggerates. She said you're a CEO." "That's not exaggeration. Titles just mean responsibility," he replied, swirling the wine in his glass. "Not power. Power's what other people decide to give you." Lena studied him, intrigued despite herself. There was an ease to him, but also something measured, like he was always 3 steps ahead in his mind. And yet, when he looked at her, it wasn't calculating. It was kind. "Would you like to dance?" he asked suddenly. Her pulse stuttered. "I haven't danced in years." All the better reason to start again. She hesitated, then placed her hand in his. His palm was warm, steady. He led her onto the floor, guiding her gently until the rhythm found them both. The lights dimmed, a slow melody filling the space. Lena's nerves melted with each step, each turn. She hadn't realized how much she'd missed being seen, not as someone's ex, not as a mother or a guest, but as a woman. When the song ended, Ethan didn't let go right away. He leaned close, voice barely above a whisper. "He's watching again." Lena smiled this time, a real smile that reached her eyes. "Then I guess I should thank you for the performance." He studied her for a moment longer, something unreadable in his gaze. "Who said it was a performance?" Her breath caught, and before she could respond, applause erupted as the bride and groom took the floor for their dance. The moment broke, but its echo lingered, an awareness, a question she wasn't ready to ask. Back at their table, she picked up her clutch, unsure what to say. The night had shifted, and she could feel it, like a current beneath calm water. Ethan rose too. "I'll walk you out later," he said. "Crowds can be exhausting. You don't have to." "I know." His smile was quiet, almost gentle. "But I'd like to." As he stepped away to greet someone, Lena watched him go, heart unsteady. Maybe he was just being kind. Maybe it was nothing. But as she glanced once more toward her ex, who now looked anything but confident, she couldn't help the small, private satisfaction that bloomed inside her. For the first time that evening, she didn't feel invisible. And that, she realized, had everything to do with the stranger who'd leaned close and whispered, "Pretend I'm your husband tonight."